I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am, oh God, make me new once again.
Good morning. Welcome to Fridays with Francis. It's good to be with you today. I wanted to start today by telling you a story that happened maybe 5-6 years ago. I was serving in a different role in the church at that time. I had an administrative position, and part of my responsibilities involved traveling around the district and worshiping in various churches. On one particular Sunday morning, my wife and I headed south on Highway 17, just going down toward the South Carolina line. And I don't remember which church we were going to, but as we were making our way down the highway, I looked up ahead of me and I saw a horse running toward the highway quite some distance from us. He was at a full gallop, and he was running from down a dirt road out to the highway, and he ran and turned into the lane that we were traveling in, going in the same direction that we were going in. He was going in the right direction. And I eased up behind him. I said to my wife, are you seeing this? She said yes, and we eased up behind the horse. And then we pulled over into the left lane to get around the horse, watching him very carefully, and he was still at this gallop. And as we pulled up beside the horse, I glanced over and looked at the horse, and he had an expression on his face that I've never forgotten. It was a sense of urgency. It was like he had somewhere to go, and he was going just as hard as he could to get there. And I thought about it and thought, well, that poor horse has a sense of urgency, but I wonder if he really knows where he's going. I don't know about you, but I've seen many times in my life when that horse is a good representation of me. A sense of urgency that I've got to get somewhere. I've got to do something. I've got to accomplish something. But I don't have any idea where I'm supposed to go to do it. We've been in that situation a lot over the last 12 months, haven't we? We've been in a situation where it seems that everything that we do is requiring us to wait. We waited for a vaccine. We waited for word about whether we were to wear a mask or not. We waited for good reports about how we're handling the COVID-19. Now we're waiting for gas lines to dwindle down so we can get gas for our automobiles. Just yesterday, I pulled into a station. When I pulled in, there were no lines there. It was really kind of amazing, and there was an open pump. I pulled up to the pump and started pumping gas. But by the time I finished pumping gas, it seemed like everybody in the world found out about that gas station. And before I could finish pumping gas, there were cars packed in to that service station, and many of them were coming in the wrong way and blocking people who wanted to get out. There were people blowing horns. There were people who were angry at one another, and I was just getting gas. That's all any of us really wanted. We wanted gas to get around. But there was a sense of great urgency. It seems to me that one of the great difficulties we have in the human predicament that we are a part of is waiting. We don't handle waiting very well, do we? I have a friend of mine who used to say that he prayed for patience, and he would say, Lord, give me patience and give it to me now. I often reflect back on a passage of Scripture from the 40th chapter of Isaiah. In the beginning of that chapter, Isaiah comes to the people with a word of great comfort for the people. Now, bear in mind that this was a word that was given to the exiles. They had been led away from Israel, from Jerusalem to Babylonian captivity. Things were pretty desperate, and in their mind's eye, they were separated from the power of God because they were geographically removed from the Holy Land. That's why the psalmist wrote these words. By the waters of Babylon we sat down and wept. Our tormentors required of us songs. They said, sing us one of the songs of Zion. But how can we sing one of the Lord's songs in a strange land? You see, in their mind, they were removed from the power and influence of God because they were not geographically in the Holy Land anymore. What they did not understand was that God was not limited by geography. God is not limited by time or space. God is omnipresent. God is omnipotent. And so one of the things that Isaiah ends up saying at the end of that chapter is, have you not known? Have you not heard that the Lord is an everlasting God? But they who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. Oh, that's a powerful word, isn't it? Maybe that's something we need to recover, is what it means to wait on the Lord. Well, I admit, I'm just as impatient as is the next person. But if we learn to wait upon the Lord and to just settle into the Lord's will on things and release some of the urgency and let God have God's way with us, leading us where we need to go, speaking to us in the stillness of the moment, and reminding us that we are His people and He is our God, then maybe, even in a season like we've been through, we might discover something of the majesty and power of God and take the time to notice it. Well, that's going to just about do it for this Friday. I trust that it's a good day and a great weekend for you. And may God bless you. Now, go in peace and go with God.
I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am, oh God, make me new once again. traveled so far from family and home, from the God who knows me as one of God.